Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself upstairs on the show this evening is my mucker Southside and the one and only Bridgeman. How we doing, gentlemen?
Evening, Ox. Good to be on the night with the legend, as always, the Bridgeman. And good evening to the troops on the YouTube channel and everybody else listening in the Facebook feed.
Evening, Bridge.
Good evening, you guys. Oxchair and Southside. A big good evening to you too, and of course the techie boys in the background. We can particularly a big shout out to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Everybody. This here is murder Polish Ibrox, and I can't watch it. It's terrible. But good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Oh dear.
Southside, I've got a question for you.
Don't make it too hard.
The Super 6, was that your own work or did you copy it for somewhere else?
It was all my own work, 5 out of 6 at Stockport County, man. Murder.
Bridge, I was right behind them for the start, as you well know, mate.
I was watching. Love it. I love it. Great banter, by the way.
A few words of encouragement, yes.
Is that what you called it? Was it?
But I find he's really entertaining the way he goes on. It's really good.
The Rangers were entertaining.
Oh God, don't say that.
As long as it's all your own work, Southside, you know the rules.
It's always my own work. You know what it means. You always do your own work, mate.
Yes. Right, okay. Look, I'm going to ask you this, and I'm going to be really obvious, and I'm in your hands. These two fine, upstanding gentlemen. Do you want to talk about that match yesterday, or do you want to move on and try and come up with solutions? Because if we're going to talk about the highlights, we might as well go straight to the tune, because the highlights are non-existent. Yeah. So I'll go to the main experienced campaigner. Is that all right with you, Mr. Southside, if I go straight to the Bridgeman?
Yes.
Bridgeman, where are we?
Look, I don't want to pull the wool over anybody's eye or even attempt it, but I've been complaining bitterly about our team, particular positions and their key positions to the team in the ongoing whatever wars we get, and we just don't seem to be able to live ourselves. So as far as I'm concerned, maybe some of the listeners would like to hear our opinion, particularly yourselves, Oxchair and Southside. But I think we should just move on. So forgive me, but that's what I think we should do.
I was thinking of having a quiz with you.
No, just play a tune at 1:15 and 1:45 in the first half of the show. Just pick a tune, we'll put it out there to the listeners what they want to hear. It's bad, isn't it? It's bad.
You put on a 12-inch and they said that's a vicious rumour. Right,
more like a 78. But I know. I mean, you come on here, right? Because you want to talk about Rangers and you want to talk about football. And honestly, man, they're absolutely battering us into submission here. We can't sugarcoat it. You know, you just can't.
3 games at Ibrox in 7 days. Well, 7 days, and you were there, you know, Southside, and you're watching that, and people are going there in the winter, and times are hard for a lot of people. I get it. Making the effort and travelling and different things, yeah. And look, we know that classics, every game is a classic, and when you dissect seasons past and we talk about great performances, there's a lot of dross always end up in all seasons, but it doesn't matter because there's certain games about winning. Yeah, and we're getting neither and very little fair. And when the game finished yesterday, I don't think anybody was surprised, but what's surprising me is, to me, we look as bad as we did under Russell Martin. Now, I know you can't judge Danny Rowe and his team because it's not his players, so the jury's out. It's just fairer than anybody. Yeah, you don't want to criticise small things. I think you mentioned it before we come off. You can say he can play him, he can play that. He's a captain of the Titanic. You know, he's going. All he can do is rearrange the deck chairs at the moment till he gets reinforcements in, and we'll see where that takes us. However, the attitude and the work rate and the lack of skill outside, help me out.
Well, it's shocking, and it's about attitude and application for the players, and that's what it comes down to. And there might be people out there might question Danny Rowe and stuff, right? But it's his players. They're not good enough, simply not good enough to wear that jersey. They get so far up the park, and then the mentality shift kicks in again. It's either too slow in the build-up. Listen, we don't even have a forward line. We don't even have a striker up there on the park that you can say, aye, he'll score today. You know, he'll be good enough to get you a goal.
I read a stat, Southside, we've had 3 games at a week at Ibrox, and we've had 5 efforts on target.
Aye.
In 3 games.
It's terrible. It's not even terrible. It's abysmal, mate. It's absolutely abysmal. But that's what we're watching now for these group of players. I mean, Bizrami came in and he tried. He went forward. Well, once he get chopped when he was sort of going across the halfway line, where he went and committed, and he done it earlier on in the first half. And he had a shot and maybe tried to put into Majowski. But he was about the only positive one in the 2 spells that you could say, right, okay, went and tried to commit players. But we've not got any players that will run by or go and join up with a striker. Somebody like Arfield used to play midfield and would ghost into the box, we'd get up there and run about. Ian Durant back in the day would just go on the ball and just go and run and go and link the play. We've got nothing like that. Nothing. Asgard, you think, should be able to go and try and link the play right. Again, flattered to deceive on Saturday and Sunday. Raskin's never near it. His passing's not even there. He'll chase by, he'll harry, he'll win a ball. But he's got nothing else. Let's be honest. I don't care. I mean, I know people saying his name and all that and everything else, but he's poor. He's poor. We've not got anybody to influence that midfield at all. Connor Barron, you know what you'll get. You'll get endeavour and hard work, but he's not got the passing ability. He's not going to play that.
Connor Barron, I'm going to actually check. No offence to Connor, because arguably he's our best outfield player at the moment, which is mental. But I'm going to check some for Connor Barron, how many games he's actually starting. What do you reckon? About 50 maybe? Has he been involved in 50 games for us?
Started 50.
Would you think maybe more than that? I'm guessing.
No.
I'm just going to check it out.
I'm not sure. He's frazzled with this mob, mate. Honestly, it's murder. I'm just my mate says another 37 quid Wednesday night to go to Dundee, and I thought, I know it's magic, innit? You know, they're just absolutely, they're not even turning up. No one of some of the people didn't turn up on Sunday.
45 games they started, mate.
45.
45 and 21 as substitutes. He's not scored a goal, and I don't think he's created a goal, mate. In midfield.
That's what I'm saying. And you look at the midfield, you look at the 2. You think obviously bringing Asgard in, he'd be the one I think he might be able to go and try and create. Because you know Raskin will maybe get Nicky something for a corner. He's decent in the air if the ball comes to him. But he's not really a prolific goal scorer either for his breaking for midfield or anything like that. And Connor Barron, as you say, the stats prove. So basically, our midfield aren't going to score a goal in during the games because they've not got the stats unless we're getting a set piece, but maybe Raskin might pop up. And even talking about set pieces, but Joe, man, look at the state of some of the crosses into that box and stuff. I mean, I know we've got a set piece coach, right? But did you see anything different? Did you see anything that you thought we worked on Sunday? For the deliveries that were getting put in?
There was a mishit cross Batav in the second half on the way up there. I think that was the last couple of minutes, mate. And Big Fernandez said that, but I don't think that was deliberate, mate. But it was different. Look, mate, there's nothing. There's no pace. We've no desire. We've not got any ball winners. Our skill, our movement is lacking. We've nothing up front. We've no shape. The players were brought in, but none of the players are going to get away with this, apart from maybe the goalkeeper, because you keep a clean sheet, you'll be part. And I thought the Giga had a moment near the end, without being outstanding, the two of them centre-halves against, because we dominated most of the ball, really, they never had, but then as the game went on, you start to get nervous. But in front of them, who shouldn't have influenced the football match at home to Falkirk with nothing. I read somewhere about the 3 A's, Aaron's, Asgard, and who was the other one? Ant-Man. Wages. And what we're getting, mate, it's absolutely shocking. People think they've played at a higher level. They're just not good enough. Their attitudes stink as well. The two wide man, and you don't know where to start. And I genuinely don't know where to start, Bridgman. He's fell off his seats outside.
You know, he's probably speechless when you ask where to start. Ant-Man done a couple of things, but he's no.
I must have missed him. I must have missed it.
A couple of wee bits, but no. And listen, he gave me a good assist record. So there's something no right. There's something happening, and I they double up on him. You can see that at times.
Is that not a good thing, mate?
Well, it should if you. Well, it'd be good if you've got players running off him, knowing that there's two doubling up on him, and somebody sort of running to get so he can maybe play him in. But they're no. Raskin is too deep. You know, when Ant-Man gets the ball there, the nearest player that's going to come to him is usually Tav. That's the way it's been working. These two sort of dovetailed each other a wee bit on Sunday. The two of them had to sort of help each other out at times, but it wasn't good enough. And even on the other wing, there's nothing really happening out there. Well, Bizrami had a couple of things. I thought Bizrami done all right, considering, but still not enough. We're no getting to the byline. We're no creating chances. We look powder puff up front. Majowski looks a shadow of the player that played at Aberdeen. And in fairness to him, he made a couple of runs for round about the defenders, but nobody's seen the run. And he's had to go and he has to check because the ball's no played. And maybe if it had been played, it might have been in.
Front of you in the first half when I think it was Asgard. They never played the body Barjami. I think Barjami and I'm trying to think who else was there in the first. It was the first half an hour, mate. A simple pass to roll them in. No better than scored up for debate, but they were through in goal. Conor Barron took the shot, and there was a better pass on to Tav and Ant-Man. You know, the decision making is just awful. We don't look like a team. We've not looked like a team since July. It's now December. We've got new players in, so we made excuses. We gave reasons. But you can't. When you're, I think we used the term, your lies don't lie, Southside. Your eyes don't lie, mate. And what we're watching, even when we're winning, we weren't great there. And it sort of came to a head the last week, mate. And include the Livingston victory as well, because, and then against a Braga team that were poor, who didn't like the weather and getting down to 10 men, we ran out of ideas, mate. Ran out of ideas. And the first time they went up the park, we didn't have a structure. And the wherefore to keep a clean sheet in a game like that, see it out. And then we come in flat against Falkirk where we had to win and created nothing. One effort on target, I think. One effort on target, or maybe two if you include Conor Barron's half-hit shot, yeah. Barjami's decent effort, decent move, but was still past the post. So it's atrocious. It's atrocious to watch. And I don't know how we fix it. I don't know how we fix it quickly. Usually, there's an obvious solution. Where do you start, Southside? That's the question I'm asking the punters tonight. Where do we start?
We need to start by no letting them get schooled. Our team's getting schooled. Our players are getting schooled every week now. Wait, goodness sake, that's Falkirk schooled us the other day in times during the game. We can't pass a ball. We can't find our own players. Particularly in the second half, we seem to fall apart entirely. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. You talked there a minute ago, Ox, there about Barron having a shot at goal. You know, Some of our players think they can just run up and have a go at goal from 25 yards. If you can get 25 yards in among all the players near the box, you'll be lucky to get the ball through. You'll probably end up going over the bar, and that's for sure. That's just nonsense. We're not trying to play football at all. I don't look as if we can play football. We end up losing the ball to them, and all of a sudden they put a high ball up, and the defence is under pressure. And I don't understand why the defence is under pressure, because we're up in the opposition half. Why is our defence under pressure? Somebody's got to tell me that. We see a ball coming up, go and get it.
I mean, as you seen against Livingston, mate, you put one with a long ball up, hopeful, anything can happen. You know, especially when they're attacking, you know, it can happen. But people might put an argument up, the defence has done all right the last week, but we're not creating anything. You know, you can make a mistake in a game and lose a goal, but you should be scoring and making more chances. But we're doing neither, Southside. Neither.
Because the problem is, I kept saying it for a while, is the midfield. It's the problem. We've got too many players that just want to play the easy ball. Maybe go and win a ball back, like Conor Barron can go in and win it, and then Ben Raskin's the same. But when you want that forward pass, or you want to go and come at a man, beat two players, and go and stretch a defence, or make a run busting long, bust along and get in the box, they're not doing it. Whatever I was trying to say. I know, it doesn't matter. Just run and go and make space and do what you're supposed to do. And they're not putting the effort in. No, you can see it. And listen, they've been at it. It's not just Danny Rose now inherited this. And we've got some new players in the team, right? I get that we've added new players. Aaron's come back again at left back. I don't know whether he's maybe taking McGowan out to give him a spell, or maybe he's carrying a wee injury. I don't know. It's not what. No.
The boy's not even a good right back. We're playing him with the left back, but he's no left foot. He runs up the park. He's got to come inside, so that means he's got to do a full 180 and go back the way. And you hear the groans, mate. You hear the groans. Yeah. It's just, when he came in, you think, oh, he's played in the Premier League, he must be all right. He's appalling, mate. He's appalling. We've watched him game after game. After Bruges, he should have been finished with that tackle. And the only good thing is, we've not given him a 4-year contract. He's not good enough to play for our club. End of. In fact, he's maybe not good enough to play for the opposition that were on the park against us yesterday. There you go. And that's me just started on one of them.
Well, a boy Conor Allen that we let go for the B team, he gets stuck in against us yesterday. I thought he'd know a bad game. And I wanted to see the young boy, John Spencer's boy yesterday, who played, that's about 50 odd games he's played for Falkirk now. He looks a tidy player. He's quite a clever player, and he gets stuck in. And I just wanted to see how he was yesterday as well, when I knew he was going to be playing against us, because there's a wee bit of hype about him. But Falkirk came with a game plan. They done what they had to do. They kept their shape. We dominated most of the ball for most of the half without actually doing anything, without making their goalkeeper Bain make a save, really. And that's a disappointing thing again. And that comes down to the wingers getting to the byline or getting enough crosses out, and creating for strikers. We've got no runners for midfield that are going to run at the edge of the box. Even in the second half, when we go to the byline, we try to smash it across the 6-yard box. There was nobody even, he probably cut it back, we might have scored in the second half, but again, the vision was to go across the 6-yard box. I think it was Gasman when he came on late in the second half, when he probably cut it back a bit with a player or two round about just inside the box. It might have had a better option. It's just choice, decision making at times. But no, we're poor. We're really poor at the moment. It's a sad indictment when you're turning up week in, week out to watch this, and it feels like we're putting an effort in to go and watch that team, but they're not putting an effort in for us when we get there.
I think that's the frustration, mate. You can be mugged in a game.
Mm-hmm.
The opposition goalie can be outstanding. See, against Livingston, the goalie's outstanding, and they got up the park, put that punt up and they score, and you're saying, how did that happen? We've done all right today. 4 kicked off the line, hit the woodwork, goalie's made 3 great saves. You're going, dear mate, we should be winning 4-0. But not once have we said that this season. Not once. Yeah, and it's shocking. I mentioned Aaron's. I'm going to Jiga, another loan player, thankfully. But I've seen him. He can shift. He can shift for a defender. We've seen it at times. Wow, £10 million somebody's paid for him. Football doesn't bother me. Again, I don't think he gets in the Falkirk team. I really don't. There's 2. Yeah, and that's without our players, which is Big Fernandez, who's raw at best, and Tav, who's past his sell-by date. Yeah, nothing against Tav. A great servant for us, but the signs of time out for no man. Or we might as well be out there standing there and getting X amount of thousands a week because we create more than some of the forward players, mate. Might not be able to run about, but you get the ball in space, you still make 1 pass in 3 games, mate.
Tav's, he can't do what he used to be able to do,
Signs of time, mate.
Aye. And again they broke down the left on Sunday. I watched it the week before against Livingston. I watched it in the midweek game. And the players can easily beat him for pace down the left-hand side when he's in the right-back position. He can't get back enough. Aarons was probably the one that was meant to come in and probably push him for his position and probably take his position to a point and probably spell them in and out. Probably keep Tav fresh.
Another giant was signed. Another
Aye. But Tav still held his position down there, and he's not getting any pressure pitting him because Aarons has obviously been playing on the left because we've no cover for Magoma. No, we've got another left back either. And we've got 2 centre backs who, let's be honest, are probably third choices. Because if Suter and Cornelius were fit, I would imagine they 2 would be in before they 2. I'm happy. Listen, Fernandez, I thought done all right. I watched him again, predominantly right-footed playing on the left. I seen him, must have used his left foot about 3 times yesterday. Predominantly right-footed. So there's no reason why, if you were drafting Giga, and if he was looking to bring in Enciala, because let's be honest, he can't do any worse, and Giga's looked at a bomb scare, then you could play Fernandez on the right-hand side and play Enciala on the left, because he is predominantly left-footed. And he's a young boy that's made mistakes in the past, but listen, they're looking at that defence all season. Suter, Giga, making mistakes, so at some point, if you have to take one of them out, then it would probably be Giga, and you could probably play Fernandez on the right-hand side there at defence.
Well, Giga's not going to be your solution, or he's not going to solve problems for his bridge. He's on loan. So why should, unless there's something in the agreement, mate, if there's something in the agreement that's even worse, we've signed these players and they've got to play X amount of games, because I'll be really honest with you. If it was possible, I would get rid of all the loan players in January. Because whoever we bring in is going to be better, because I'll tell you why, they couldn't be any worse. Bridge.
Yeah. What can we say? I'll say my mind's only on one thing, and it's going to be what you and Southside are saying. I don't want to say too much because I'm extremely negative at the moment, but going by what you guys are saying, and you're absolutely right. There isn't very much you can do. If we've got players in on loan, and there's a part of the contract that says we have to sign them, then who's contracting these people? Who's making that up? That's just nonsense. If we don't want to play a player, we don't need to play a player. I mean, I don't know if you were meaning there's an awful lot of money involved that we would be fine.
Sometimes in loan contracts there is that you've got to play them X amount of times, mate.
And if you don't,
yeah, there'll be financial stuff in it sometimes.
Oh yeah. No! Oh dear! By the way, I'm sounding as if I didn't know about this. I probably do know that, and I've just slipped my mind now. But seriously, that's just
Mr. Fox is sent a message. I'm going to read it out if that's all right with you two gentlemen. Yeah. And Fox would come on, but he's had a bit of a chest. So he's not his best, but we don't have a Rangers team. We have a squad of strangers. There is no camaraderie and no characters any worth to bring them all together. Yeah. we've signed people with characters. So I said, me and you, we've debated on and off air. Asgard, he sums it up, mate. He is one of the laziest players I've ever witnessed. Ever.
Aye, I can't. It was one point actually. He tried to. I watched him Sunday, and he actually went in. He shoulder tip challenge the boy. He get him out the road, and the boy knocked him on his arse basically with the physicality. And I thought, you're kidding me on, biggin. The height of you, you know, and you're actually going to give the shoulder charge to take the ball, and you end up on the ground. Listen, I know he's got ability. The boy, you can see he can take the ball.
He can juggle.
But he's no the work rate and the heart and all that. I can't argue with what I'm watching in front of my eyes. You can't sugarcoat it. He needs a bit up the arse, to be honest. But aye, he's no producing.
Is that your thoughts, or is that thoughts you're?
No, it's my thoughts, mate. That's always my thoughts.
All right, mate. Just asking. You know what I mean?
But then I don't know if we've signed him. We've signed him. Now whether we're 4 months, nearly 5 months down the line for when they've signed some of these players that we've took in, and a lot of them still only producing on a weekly basis for the team. You could turn around and go, well, he's doing all right, and he's had some good games, and he's doing this and that, and he needs help, or maybe some of the other players are holding him back because he's making runs and moves and all that. But they're all pedestrian. Look at the speed we're passing the ball to each other on Sunday. It's slow, lethargic build-up. You can see it happening. You're like, just play him the ball now. I'll take an extra 3 touches, and then I'll decide to play it to him. And then when he gets there, he's got a man coming down and shutting him down because Falkirk were working hard in their game plan. So these players have really got to take a lot of responsibility. That's the main thing. These players, and we can tell now that some of them are not good enough. Another one that's getting him a go, also, I'm jumping about a bit because you've asked about Asgard, but just because he's in my head. Diamonde, look at the state of him when he came on. I'm running with the ball and he just gave it away. Runs around in circles. I know I'm trying to be kind, but
look at the state of him all season, mate.
I know. Absolutely rank rotten. Sent off again in Europe. He had a couple of bans this year before. He's got a couple of bans again this year. But look at him when he came on yesterday. His distribution and everything that he done. You're like, but do you not understand this game of football? What's happened to you? Why? Look at the state of you when you come on the park. What a transformation in a player. And he's not been outstanding since he's been with us all the time, but he's had some good games. And he was a wee bit better than what we're seeing. But now he's miles off it and has been miles off it all season, Ox. All season.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. And that's the trouble, mate. You don't know where to start. You really don't know where to start. We've talked about the defence, the midfield. There's nothing up front. You look at the wide men who started the season with Gassama. We think, this boy, we might have got a steal here. Well, no, he can't run, mate, because he can't run past his petted lip. As soon as we put him on the right-hand side, you feel as if his face is tripping him. And he went, I can't play here. I've got to play the left because I want to cut in and score. Yeah, it's a team game, son. And you play what you're told. You know, you can see it. It's like a petted lip. But I also don't understand why we put him on the left, on the right, and played him there when he has done all his best work on the left. Yeah, but you can see he's not happy as soon as he's put on the right. Just my opinion. You might see it different, Bridge.
I think, Oxford, I think you're absolutely right. But the gas man, I've said this for the past 3 months now. I just don't understand why that boy is not getting played in the left all the time. He is a good wee player, and he fitted in with that the young left back as well. He's good. Looks a good quality player. But if we try to move him away, stick him in the middle or stick him out in the right, you're not going to get half the player you think you're going to get. But if you put him back onto the left, you need to be able to play the way you were playing as a team, like to make sure we're going to predominantly give him the ball to allow him to run in and do the thing he's got to do, maybe even score. That's magic. But don't take away all that. It's like taking Tav out of the penalty kicks at the moment. He's not very good at taking other kicks, may I say, but his penalty kicks are excellent. So you know you can guarantee him getting a penalty most of the time. But dear, oh dear, oh dear. I don't understand why Gasman's playing out on the right. He shouldn't be there. He should not be there. There's lots of youngsters we could play out on the right, for sure. Not Ant-Man, may I say. I think he's something not right with that boy, now. It might be, he might be falling
Listen,
out with
if you
everybody.
want my view on it, mate, if you want my view, in first game, he would do your wing like a train, put a cross in, by the way, for Gassama to come in and score with a header, and you're thinking, wow, we'll get pace in both wings. I don't think we've seen it since. I just don't think what we've seen with Ant-Man. I don't think he's another one. And that performance on Saturday, along with his other performances when he's got in the team, I'll say it again, I don't think he gets in the Falkirk team. There you go. Southside.
Oh, it's terrible the way there's no other way of dressing it up, but your eyes don't deceive. It's what you're watching. And Gasman at first, when you looked at him when he first came in, scored a couple of goals in Europe and that. But he's like a one-trick pony out on the left. You know, when he gets so forward on the left, he's going to try and cut inside. And I agree with you on the right, he doesn't look really that comfortable and not sure if he's a wee bit sulking or something like that. But he's not really cut it on the right-hand side much either. And he's supposed to have been this going to be worth £20 million, and maybe down in England that's what they'll pay for that type of player and all that. But you know, we paid 2.5, and even at that, I still think we were robbed by about £1.5 million at the moment because he's just not producing it. I don't know if it's a confidence thing right through the team. I don't know if they've been mentally put into this Russell Martin thing that they're scared to go and try and commit or what. I can't work out what is the problem with half of these players. I can see some lack of ability. You can get that, right? Some are good at one thing or some are no good and whatever, right? I get that. But it's collectively, from midfield to front. Or is it the fact that we've lost the type of player that we had up front, that made the runs like Dessers, looked for the ball, or made the runs off the shoulder of the defender that we've no got?
I'm going to say something to you, Biggie, and I mean this with all sincerity. If Haaland was playing up front for us just now, he'd have scored 5 goals this season. If you don't get any service, and I know all our forwards have been abysmal, their touch, their work rate, and some of their runs and their control, but how many sitters have we missed this season? There ain't many. So Dessers, when they had solved that problem, mate, because he wouldn't have had the 10 chances to score his 4 goals.
Aye. Look at Majowski. Look how deep he was coming and couldn't even hold the ball.
But why would you tell Majowski to come deep? Why would you be telling him, and by the way, I'm not having a go at Danny Rowe, you can't sort everything out in 6 weeks. You can't undo everything. But why would you be telling him to come deep? He ain't that type of player. Yeah? He should be just working the centre halves left and right and making runs in and out. That's runs constantly and moving. No coming and trying to on the player. He ain't that type of player, mate. Right,
No.
we better get these phone lines open, Jim. I'm sorry. We're ranting a bit. You feel better? Do you feel better for getting off your chest? I don't.
No, because I'm going to have to go to Tannadice on Sunday and watch probably the same thing. Wednesday. I just looked and think what's going to change apart from maybe 1 or 2 personnel.
Nothing, mate.
Nothing,
and that's the problem, mate. The damage that has been done with the people, with the selection that players brought in your club, has been frightening. You know, you take that team on Saturday, we got 3 at the back 4. We're coming in the summer. Aarons, Fernandez, De Giga. And then you go into Asgard 4, Majowski 5, Ant-Man 6. You know, They don't come in the door, mate. And obviously, the guys that were there a long time weren't any better. You know, they don't get away with it scot-free. But they've hardly kicked a ball between them. We had some moments for some of them. Asgard scored arguably the goal of the season. Kusama, his goals have been great at times. You know, he's come in and finished well. But collectively all season, mate, they've been absolutely appalling pretty much to a man, every single one is. And don't get it started on the centre forward who's injured. You know, right, we better get the phone lines opened.
Aye, hopefully we'll get some callers.
Yes, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, we've been doing this between us. We've been doing this show for a long time, yeah. I'm not. We've been doing this show for a long time, and I think, look, we might have differences of opinions on lots of different stuff, different players over the years. You know, managers, ideas about football. We've all got varied and different ideas. Would that be fair, Bridge?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed,
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah. But we're all flummoxed with this. To a man. Yeah, we've all pretty much singing off the same hymn sheet. And the question I'm going to put to you two gentlemen is, how do we fix it? Where do we start? Southside.
3 transfer windows. That's probably about the most logical thing that can happen. You look at the ones that we've signed, and for how much money we've paid for them. Probably Gasman's a bit cheaper, being $2.5 million. I can't even remember how much we paid for Asgard now, to be honest. I can't even really remember. If you look it up, you'll probably find it, Ox, but I can't even remember now. And Ant-Man. I thought the A3, given time, considering when we've seen them start, although Asgard's not really started, he scored a good goal against Dundee United. Thought that's maybe gave him a bit of confidence and kick on, and he was scoring in international games, and I thought, well, maybe get something, maybe he'll settle down in that. But under a previous manager at the time, it was probably hard for anyone to come out their shell and go and show what they can do. But they've had a wee bit of time now under Danny Rowe, and some of them still really underperforming. I thought the A3, in given time, would probably have been successful for us for a period of time when we were kicked on. But they haven't. But they also need help for the other experienced players round about them. And they're the ones I think should really take the blame. The Raskins, the Diamandis, Tavs, Souters when he was fit. You can find Danilo in there, and I know he was a third choice striker at one point, but he's been here long enough. He knows the ropes. He knows what it's about. And he's another one that's no doing enough. I don't think putting him out there, it's a bit like when we used to put Higgeman out there wide left. It didn't really work. And Danilo out left's not really working either, is it really? He's predominantly a striker. If you're going to play him in that position. But no, he's not been doing it either. You know, he's another one that we should probably would have maybe offloaded him but he was the only fit striker we had at the start of the season that could play, because obviously Higgeman and Dessers weren't fit, and he was the only one available, and that's possibly how he stayed. And he's been trying to fight his way back in the team, but he's not managed it. Majovski or Chimiti are obviously thing. I mean, I know he scored a couple of goals and stuff like that, Danilo, but nah, we need better than this. We need better. So he's another one. And then obviously you look at the surplus players that are kicking about that are doing nothing, like Dells and Matondos and stuff like that. That's still part of the squad that's probably dragging us down in all the money going out the club that we need to try and get in and try and replace players. But January's not going to be a lot of players we're going to bring in. We're going to be left with most of these players.
Depending on the loan deal, and you might get a couple leave that might surprise you because it doesn't suit them and they'll bail out. Yeah.
Some of your loan players, do you really think so?
I don't know what the deal is, but some of the players you never know that were brought in the summer. Yeah, I don't know what well, if it was down to me, I'd send all the loan players back now, right? But I don't know if that's possible. If you're stuck with them to May, you're stuck with them to May, and you have to go accordingly. But it's a sad indictment of our whole club collectively before anybody's come in that we have to get anybody in our club reserves, stroke youths that can't give us any more than what Aaron's and Mahome and the Jigger have got. Because let's be honest, two of them are very, very inexperienced. Aaron's isn't much more experienced, even though he's played in the Premier League and been about, I think he's mid-20s, 24 or something like that. I've not checked that out. Yeah, there's nothing to offer. Young boy, Mahome, 19. Whoever thought that was a good idea to solve a critical defender at Glasgow Rangers left back. The other two made perfect sense. Take the money, you move on. You bring in men, no boys. You know, you have a back four with so little experience in it and fail that way. It's just been criminal. You can have a blend. You can have a mixture. You can bring boys in, but usually to winning teams, to bring them in where we are this now was nothing short of criminal. And what they've done between Martin Therwell and whoever it was, mate, they insulted the league, the other teams, and it's blew up in their face. Anyway, I'm ranting, Bridge. I'm doing a bridge.
Join the club. Man, right enough. Oh, but come on, guys. It's unforgivable what they're doing. The fans, Rangers fans don't deserve this crap. They just don't deserve it. God almighty. But I noticed there wasn't that, shall we, I don't know what the actual attendance was, but probably most of the season ticket holders there anyway, you know, or even the ones that were missing were season ticket holders, so that their money will be okay. But they need to get a grip. We can't. They were getting booed at the weekend. We can't afford that. We need to stop all this nonsense. Make sure there's enough quality on that pitch. And okay, you'll get beat. We know that, but at least you'll play football. At least if they'll be trying. They're trying. I'm sorry. Some of the quality players we've got now, they're turning into a disaster for us. They're turning into an absolute disaster for us, for themselves as well. May I say? I'm not going to say any more. Take it over.
No, I think the situation you've got is, if you think you've got assets, I think 2 players, first teamers, to bring them in January would be reasonable. But we're not at that stage, Southside. And if our assets go, which people might think is Raskin and Diamande, yeah, if they go, well, carry on. Whoever we bring in to replace them at this moment in time couldn't do any worse. Yeah, so what do? Do you leave them there if somebody comes in and make you an offer? I don't know if you can.
They go. They've got to go. They two are best of pals. Like Cantwell and Raskin were pally and all, but Diamande, the Blues brothers, they two, you know. And I know people might like Raskin and that, and I'm not saying Raskin's a bad player, but he's not cutting the mustard right now. He's going through the motions, and it's not good enough. And I would try and take the money for the two of them, whatever you can get. I would just take it and try and refresh. And whether we can refresh in January or no, with the money immaterial, they've really got to go. We brought Rothwell in. I take it he's injured because he's no featured, and when he has been about the squad or on the bench, he's no come on. I don't think under Danny Rowe. I can't remember the last time he came on. So he's not at the races in there. Most people, when they pick a team, would say, we want Raskin and Diamande in the team, but really, do they deserve to be getting picked in the team? You know, it's because we've really not got anybody else, unless you stick in somebody that's going to work and try and break up the play, and it's Conor Barron for talk's sake, and then you need to try and find 2 players that can go and try and influence a game. And Asgard was obviously brought in. Rami got a chance here at the weekend. I don't think he's done his chances any harm. think he probably deserves to start again on Wednesday night against Dundee United. To be honest, I would probably give him another chance. And the other one that hasn't featured for some reason is Lyle Cameron. And he was at Dundee scoring goals, getting about the bolts. Reminds me a wee bit, obviously, he was getting on the end of things, he was getting on about bolts. He's like a wee Scotty Arfield, probably. But under Danny Roll, he's not really been featuring at all. For whatever reason, I don't know. But it's about the only other mix that we've got left to try and change the midfield. Because the midfield that we're relying on and what most people would say would normally start, aren't they cutting the mustard? They're not at it. They're not doing it. No, does Diamondi deserve to start on Wednesday night against Dundee United? No. No. Does Asgard? No.
No.
And
I'll give you another thing about Diamondi. Do you trust him not to do some stupid thing? Sent half, mate. Be coming every week nearly, innit? It feels like it.
He can't keep control of a ball. He'll put away. He's on his arse most of the time. He can't header a ball. He virtually doesn't score that often. I know he got one. You said it, fair play. You said that he can't header a ball, and then I had to sort of sit and watch it for a few weeks to realise that you were right. It's just not often you're right, but you were right that time. But
at least it's always made shots, big, you know what I mean?
Well, he did have good movement back in the day, didn't he, down at Sheffield? You see how he turned it. But you call it as you see it at the time, and I never really noticed that part of his game. And I'm not sure if he's going away in January to this hangman, because I'm sure Ivory Coast are playing Gabon in the start of January. That's who he plays for, isn't it? Ivory Coast. For that CONCACAF, for that. There's a good chance he might be away in international duty, which probably help us, to be honest, because he's doing nothing in a Rangers jersey, but I'm sure they play. I'm sure Ivory Coast play Gabon around about right at the start of January in a tournament. So he might be away in that. I know he changed. He used to play for somebody else, didn't he? Then he changed. Changed. I'm not sure,
I'll check it.
But another one, I mean, Raskin and him, they're two players have been here a long time. They must know what it is to play for Rangers. And the two of them
2 years, Diamondi now? Is that 2 years now, Diamondi? He came in.
He got a 5-year deal. We gave him a 5-year deal. I know that.
He came under Philip Clement and Philip's first. He was one of Philip's first signings, wasn't he? He came in that January period. Yeah, him and Cortez. And Diamondi never started. Then he scored a couple of goals quite quickly, didn't he? Edge of the box, one up at St Johnstone, then and then against Hearts, a 5-0 rout. And you're thinking, oh, this boy's got something about him. You know, and he's in moments. He's in moments. But no, this season, I can think of one cutback when somebody hit it in and Lyle Cameron put it in and Pilsner. That's all I can think of this season, mate. Yeah, off the top of my head without checking it. And then he's been sent off twice for, well, silly things. You know, the tackle and where he's done it and when he's done it and the areas in the park have been crazy. Gave referees decisions to make. You could argue he was unlucky on Thursday night, but all right, okay, he was, but he still gave the referee a decision to make after you've been booked. You just need to be smarter. He's been poor. All season.
I agree with you there. He's been poor, I fear for him. I actually fear for him. I started, a couple of months ago, I was thinking, he's getting picked on in this league. And I initially thought that he was quite a, shall we say, a good wee tackler and things like that. But he's a terrible tackler, And you start, and I then started to think the other players are picking on him, but they weren't. They're probably retaliating on him, and that's what's happened to him now. He's given himself such a reputation that even Rangers fans like me I'm dreading him going into a tackle. And the time if initially you see him, he's on the ground, he manages to recover the ball. That might be a wee trick for him. Where he's on the ground, he manages to gather the ball and play. But he's not getting the playing anymore. When he's involved, there's maybe 2 people on him, maybe even 3. at some points. He's not going to win the ball all the time, but the digging and the tackling from behind and the pulling the jersey, he's doing it all, and you can see him doing it all. And I just don't understand why we're taking a risk on some of the games we're playing. You know, I know I liked him and thought he would be a really good part of the club, but I'm sorry, I see what he's doing, and I don't like what he's doing. And if I was the captain of his team, he'd be getting shouted at more than the opposition. I'll tell you that.
I just think I don't know if it's for him or he's got himself in a rut and he can't get out of it, and you know, but he's been awful this season, along with the team, mate, along with the team, you know. But except Southside, you cannot say that you're never confident the ball's under control. And again, when somebody's meant to run into the box, what has he created? What has he created this year?
Aye, nothing. No, he's been poor. He was good in Europe, and all. He used to be quite good in Europe. So he would get about the park, he'd win tackles. He used to get fouled quite a lot. He could drag you up the park. He scored a cracking goal. Can't remember who against. Was it in Lille or something, was it? Can't remember when we chased the ball in the box and the boy headed it and he slid in and put it out of the goalie into the corner. But he done well in Europe for us, but he's been appalling since the start of the season. Another thing that appalled me on Sunday was see players that come on with a pair of gloves. I wouldn't let him on. And I said, you get the gloves off, stupid. But you didn't get on the black gas man coming on with a pair of gloves on Sunday. No, what's going on here? You know, what's it all about? Letting players come on with a pair of gloves. I just don't get it. No, if you need a pair of gloves, son, then you just don't go in the park and play at Glasgow Rangers. I think it was that cold on Sunday, really. Just bust your nutting, so it would.
Never get a new pair for Christmas.
Nice one.
You know,
Not a pair of gloves. Get us a pair of the Rangers ones that are running about with you then.
Oh dear. Mate, it's funny when the frustrations start, how things are. But if you can do it and wear whatever you like, mate, if you're doing the business. That's the truth, mate. Yeah?
Nah, I'm still not having it. Nah, I'm not keen on my players wearing gloves. Never have been, to be perfectly honest. Well, maybe that time when we were in Dortmund when it was minus 12, 23 or something, whatever it was that time back in the 90s, but I'll let them wear a pair of short sleeve tarpaulin. Oh, gloves, but come on. No, what's it all about? Even when I watched them in the training videos, man, they're coming out with snoods and all that one. You're like, what's the snoods for?
Anyway, we've been joined by a caller. Evening, Gordon.
How you doing, lads? Pleased to talk to you again. It's been a wee while I've been on, but I just wanted to jibe in and join the greeting of the morning session along with the rest of these. But here's a point. I know we can't criticise Wall because he's just in the door, but do you see only improvement than only players? Because I certainly can't.
Southside.
That's a good point, Gordon. I know it's. I think they're just I don't know, mate. I can't even put my finger on it.
Well,
No, really, no. There's nobody really cutting it early. Granted, he's only been in 6 games.
Here's another thought for you. Here's another thought. We've got a mediocre team. Have we landed another mediocre manager? And they're a kind of sliding doors minute flashing in and out. And I ken you, we're all great with hindsight and all the rest of it. But I sometimes wonder what might have been if Lampard had landed that job. Because he seems to be getting a tune out of championship players for we can't.
Aye, Coventry are flying. Aye. Well, listen, mate, it's buts and maybes.
Aye, I know.
Deal with it now. But I agree with you, mate. I don't think anybody's improved in the performances. The last 3 performances in 8 days at Ibrox, mate, have been poor. And obviously, the result against Braga in isolation wouldn't have been a disaster. But however, the performance and the circumstances was appalling. And Simons on either side of that, Livingston and Falkirk, mate, when we've hardly had a shot at goal. So, look, to answer your question, in my opinion, I've came up with one, and he's injured at the moment. Mikey Moore improved when Danny Rowe came in the door. There you go.
Well, that's a different thing altogether, and the fact that we've heard all the discussion about us trying to improve another club's player. That again, that's another debate. But see, in all honesty, when was the last time you really enjoyed a game? Was it maybe when Barry had a couple of stumbling blocks and that, but it everybody bouncing. This boys come in and it's snow. It's as flat as a pancake. And then I get my glass is half empty, but I'm fearful. I'm fearful what maybe happen. But hopefully they'll back him the same way as they backed the previous in the transfer window, and will reserve judgment in the new. But as I said, every other team seems to get a bounce factor we all hear talking about, but no us for one reason or another. But no, that was it, and thanks for listening and giving us airspace again, and I'll tune back in here before we turn the tunes up. But
no,
cheers.
I think, listen, take your point. Cheers, Gordon. Good to hear.
Cheers, lads, and as always, we are the people.
Absolutely, Gordon. Absolutely.
Right then. Cheers, lads.
Cheers, Gordon.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bridge, before we retune, mate, it's hard to argue with Gordon's sentiment, isn't it? Listen, the Danny Rowe thing's up for debate, and that results going forward will dictate pressure and how successful he's going to be. We hope he gets it right, and we're all saying, look, we need to wait till he brings 2, 3, 4 of his players in, but I don't know if it's going to be fixed in January, Bridge.
Well, it doesn't seem like it's going to be. The reason being, we haven't got a CEO. We've got shall we say, a temporary CEO, and we don't have a director of football to give to actually purchase the players. If we're going to change things and make the manager responsible, then this manager needs to be given whatever's required and let him go out and do it at the New Year's time. But if we're not going to appoint anyone permanently, these are executive positions to all intents and purposes, and they have to be done, and they're going to help run the club at the higher level. If we're not doing that, well, we're knackered. I feel, shall we say, on Saturday, yesterday, I felt so sorry for the manager, so sorry for him. He must be banging his head. Last night he must have been banging his head against his wall, because that was just, where did that come from? You know, you must be thinking, where did that come from?
I felt very sorry for the friends, like people I knew was at the game, like Southside and that, who were there.
Of course.
They were banging their head off the wall. He's earning money watching that. They're paying money to watch it, mate. I know who I feel sorry for.
Yeah. No, I don't mean just in that sense. I feel sorry for the manager. I've said it all along. I feel more sorry for the fans. If the fans are booing, eventually they did yesterday. We don't want the fans to be doing that. But they need to get rid of this venom that they've got they feel when they watch that team of ours. I'm not saying it's for 90 minutes they're playing totally rotten, but for a big chunk of that, they are totally rotten, and they need to get it fixed.
Right. Anyway, we've reached that time of the evening. If you don't mind getting yourself on mute, because we're going to have a tune.
Every Saturday we follow, we cheer the boys in blue, the most successful team in football. We're Scotland's gallant few, though at times they have been hard. We've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park. successful team in football. We're Scotland's gallant few, who times they have been hard, will follow near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park. Whoa,
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, thanks for that, Fox. Do you think Fox decided to put that on himself, or he took it for another show, Southside?
Fox calls the tunes, you know that, he calls the tunes. Always gives you a wee skip to your step, that one, so it does. And we'll be following on Wednesday night, Dundee United, Tannadice, and I suppose that's what you do, innit? And hopefully these players are up for it. I've read a wee couple of things on the YouTube feed there, people saying he has to change it up and that, and blah, blah, blah. And he did, he changed it up, he changed the front three on Sunday. He's trying to find a formula and a solution. And it's down to the players, you know, it's down to the players to step up and play. And that's the issue. There's a lot of them not at it. Whether you can maybe criticise. I'd like to see Bajrami play instead of Ant-Man on Wednesday night, if I'm honest, Oxen, and probably stick Finlay Curtis out in the left. I would maybe have a look at that idea, and it'd be two players to freshen it, and maybe try and find a spot for Lyle Cameron, and give either Barn or where. I don't care. You can either drop Connor Barron or Barron probably he's done it. He's been a noticeable player, although he's limited in what he does. And do you know what? See if he drops Raskin, it wouldn't bother me. Because I'm sick of him. I'm sick of it. Something's got to give somewhere. Something's got to change. So play Cameron in, and you could take your pick. Who you want to drop between Raskin and Connor Barron, because somebody has to go in and play that position. And I think Lyle Cameron maybe coming in might get himself forward. He picks up pockets of space. He works hard. He runs about. Anytime he's been given limited chances, you can't say his work rate's no there, because he does work. So why no? Try it, because if you get back to Asgard, Diamondi, Raskin, and even Connor Barron, if you put them in that mould, then they're not cutting the mustard. They're not creating. They're not doing anything. So we need to get something into that midfield that can get you forward, or go and link to play, or might find yourself in the box and get a couple of chances, and maybe Lyle Cameron comes up with a goal. Who knows? But there'll be a lack of match fitness with him, lack of sharpness, same as Bajrami. So lack of fitness and probably sharpness with him, because he's not been getting regular games. He's managing to play for his country, but he's not really been featuring with us at the moment, and these players have been out for quite a while. And Finlay Curtis is back off injury.
Would you play Bajrami in the 10, put Gasman back to the left, try and solve two problems?
Play Gasman in the left?
I put him back to where he scored.
No, I would play Finlay Curtis on the left. No, I would play Finlay Curtis. I'd stick him on the bench, Ops. I'd stick him back on the bench.
Yeah, his attitude's not been great, mate, and I know he was poor against Livingston, but who are the pieces arguably been my most productive outfield player this season, which isn't a high bar, mate, is it?
Oh, no, but but needs a bit of change. He's a bit predictable.
Who plays on the right then? Who plays on the right?
On the right, I would probably stick with Ant-Man. I would. I would give him another start, another go.
I would.
Fair enough. Everybody's entitled to their opinions. I get it, but I would probably stick with him and give him another go. Otherwise, what you got to do? Play the gas man out there. Finlay Curtis would be more settled on the left. He's a young boy. He's coming back into the team. He's been out for a while, so playing where he's most comfortable, where he might be able to go and create and score your goal. But in a lovely cross at the weekend, so he did. Nobody was there to take it. I would give him a chance on the left. I would try and find a place for Bajrami.
Listen, mate, with this team at the moment, I give Tony Curtis a go.
Like he's Paul gave a few that travel to the game and Sunday was all giving us a strap to go out and play, you know what I mean? It's dreadful, mate, but something's got to change, something's got to give. If you keep playing the repetitive players all the time that aren't producing and doing it for you, then what can you do? And you might be looking at fitness and all that and what he sees himself down the road, but they're no doing it. And would you start there Monday and Wednesday? No, you wouldn't, would you? So why not try something else? You know, but like I say, on the right hand side, you need some type of winger, I think, out there, and probably Ant-Man gets a nod rather than put the gas man out there. And I wouldn't put Finlay Curtis out there. I'd try and get him on the left.
You think he's the productive young Finlay on the left? Is that what you think?
Aye. I think it's where he's most comfortable, and I would probably play him
What's
out
your
there.
view? And I'll go to Bridge after you, mate. What is your view in this? I don't know. Inverted wingers, mate. You know, back in the day, your job was to get the byline, put a cross in, and maybe come in at the back post and score some goals. Now it seems to be you've got to dribble inside and try and swing it with your right or your left foot to the opposite corner. So they became one-trick ponies and predictable. It's easy to defend against. And does it work?
I don't think it works too well, to be honest. I really don't. You look at Gasman when he goes down the left. At first, when he came up here, he was cutting inside. He scored a couple of goals like that. But now, when you've watched him, but defenders know what he's going to do when he comes towards the edge of the box. He's going to cut inside. He's not going to the byline to whip the ball across with his left foot, is he? You know, to me, left foot players should play on the left and the right footed players should play on the right. And that's it. Get to the byline and then you can either cut it back or put a good cross in with your right foot. It baffles me sometimes. I know sometimes players make it work and all that, and some of them in other leagues and other players that have maybe a bit more high quality at it, maybe show up better and do a job that way. But no, I was brought up that your right-footed winger went down the line and whipped a ball in.
It's you who played. If you know you're making runs, right? If you're a centre forward, right, and I've got the ball. Now you know what I would put it right to be a read. That was a given, right? But however, right, if you were making a run and I'm coming inside all the time, you're gonna stop making the runs, aren't you?
Aye, because when you're going down the flank on the right-hand side, when you're going to whip a ball in, most strikers would make a run towards the front post, usually. Or if you're going to pull off, you're maybe going to go back post. But when they're coming inside, when they're running down the line, you know they're going to...
Where do you go? Where do you go as a centre?
You're cutting inside and then they're just firing that ball diagonally across the way. And it's hard for you to work out where the ball's coming in. And, you know, I don't think it works great, but it seems to be the way people want to play nowadays and the way we're doing it. But I don't really get it. I think your winger should be right-footed on the right wing, your left-footed winger goes on the left wing, and that's it. And to be honest, you should be too-footed you should be at least...
level.
You should. I mean, you're up there. Professional football players that can only kick with one foot. Really, you know, it's pretty poor, mate. It's pretty poor.
Bridgman.
Yeah, I quite like when it works. I quite like the inverted fullback. I think that it's nice to see. It's nice to see them coming in and they can have a really good shot at goal from particular angles. And I like to see it happening, and they force the goalkeeper to make decisions that may not be really good for them. If the keeper manages to make a save, the ball's most assuredly come out, and hopefully there's a colleague following in and getting the ball. I do like it when it works, and I think Gazman. I thought Matonda was superb at it. You know, playing on the left, and he scored some great goals for us. Coming in, but it's a I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Traditional winger, you know, if you're going to play somebody on the right, and Southside said that if you're playing somebody out wide right, then you expect him to be able to play with his right foot as his stronger foot. And if they're going to try and dribble to get to the goal line, then he needs to have a disadvantage, and he's got to be a really strong right-footed player if you're playing him on the right, and vice versa if you're playing him on the left. He's got to be really strong left-footed. We are looking for somebody to get to the line and get it across, and that's not the easiest thing to do at running at pace. Not the easiest thing. But I do like the concept of these wingers, inverted winger. You know, I do like it. I like to see it. I like to see the change. But with this team that we've got, the players and the way it's happening, just don't have that type of quality. I do think I've said this before. You've heard me. I'm a bit bored in the arse. If you excuse the language, that we need someone like Gassama who's strong out in the left, and he comes in and he does what he does from the left. If we stick him out in the right,
if I was coaching Gassama, mate, I would have him. What I would have him doing is constantly in drills going outside, mate.
Oh, outside, yeah.
Outside, and put it in with your left foot. Outside.
But I don't know if he's got. Is he left-footed?
He's right-footed, mate.
He's right-footed, so it's really tough to. The inverted's okay, but I like to see the inverted, but they'll come in and have a shot diagonally across the box.
Why I would do that, mate? You can't predict a game because you can't take the guy's thoughts. But the first thing I would want to do is for him to go outside the fullback, and then the fullback, and then if he's going to go inside, the fullback's then got a decision to make. And then you know what it's like, but you defended. If I can go both ways, you've got to think twice.
Absolutely.
If I go one way all the time, mate.
I'm not decrying the players' their natural ability. People like Tom McLean, Willie Henderson, they were actually outstanding down the wings. But you know they could cross the ball with the right foot.
But one of the reasons back in the day when they started playing at this time of the season, maybe to March, mate, they wouldn't come inside because they'd be running into all the mud.
Well, yeah, apart from that, the pitches aren't that bad today. Nowadays, they're not really that bad. But
exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They're playing the line because there's only patch of grass outside.
Yeah. But I like the thought of and management can try it and do the business. You get that converted, inverted fullback. It's really good. They can run down the wing if they can play, and you can start to see them coming in. I thought Ant-Man was quite good at that coming in, but he gets himself caught up. He actually runs into play. Actually, physically runs into players, and you're not wanting that. You don't want. Shouldn't be any.
No offence to the boy, he's brain dead. He doesn't.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah, he's not. He's no. For some reason or other, he's not thinking, which is endemic in our team.
There's a football player that can't play, mate.
There's none of. There looks like there's none of the players in our team, at the present moment, and on their forum, they're not thinking. They're no idea of where they are on the pitch when they get the ball, and you know yourself when you play as a midfielder. Sometimes there's three or four players in there, and you've got to get that ball right. And when you get it, what you're going to do with that. So you've got to be 3 or 4 thoughts ahead of yourself to make sure you get it. And when you get it, can you control it? If not, pass it. You know, that kind of thing. Make that decision. These guys, we've got to know they can't do it by the look of it. They just can't do it. I watched that boy Ant-Man, and he literally got the ball and ran straight into the player. What is that about? Or he's running in, he tries to beat one, and then all of a sudden there's 3 of them running about him. He's never going to get anywhere, and he falls. He's looking for a free kick, of course. But the referee doesn't give it.
But also, Bridge, the way what we're playing against a lot of the times, teams are maybe playing 5 across the back, so they go compact between with the 18-yard ball. Southside, you've watched it. Yeah? If you're coming inside all the time, you're getting in with all the players there, and all the space is out wide. And it's poor decision making. And arguably, I'm trying to be polite with Danny, but it's arguably, where's the thought and the tactics of where you're going to have to get to score a goal. Because if they're set up like that, you're going to have to pull them wide and get in the back and cut the ball back. Yeah, we can't play with a big centre forward. We've not got somebody suitable. So you're trying to play and you're trying to play on the legs. You might get a ricochet the odd time, you might get a deflected shot. But if you're talking about somebody running with the ball, you're running in with all the legs up and it becomes difficult. And you've seen it, we've watched it. Gasman coming in, Ant-Man coming in. It's consistent, mate. And we've watched it with other players as well, not just having a go at them. The decision making is absolutely dreadful. Then you've got, you throw Asgard who's throwing about, takes about half an hour to do anything because he obviously wanted to be his hair. You know what I mean? We understand that Southside. You've got to look after your hair. You know what I mean, mate? Right? So,
yeah.
You know.
If he's coming inside, that's all right. If you're going to maybe try and play a 1-2, players are moving off, you're coming short, and you might play a 1-2, and you might get it back, and you can get in the box. Or maybe a player, if you're coming inside, might cause an overlap for somebody to come down the outside. You can play a ball in. But that's not been happening. It's like you say, once they come inside, it's like they start running into traffic. And we've watched that a few times. Sometimes we'll get a chance to make space and get a shot. And as Bridge said, we had seen Matondo do it back in the day. You know, we'd seen it, like he'd come in and scored a couple of goals and all that. But it comes down to the player's attitude and application as a football player. This is what it is first and foremost. You can put Barry Ferguson, as much as he's touched on it, he done a wee bit of this and that. Barry, the same problem. Barry turned around and told you, I know some of these players are different, but some of them are still there. He turned around and told you, Clement said it, Barry said it, I tell them what I want and give them instructions, they go in the park and they don't do what I asked them to do. Right? He clearly came out and said it. So, and now we've got these players, and Danny Rowe, look, you could question the odd, maybe you picked him or he picked him and you might not agree because it's all about opinions. But he's working with the dross. It's like a tradesman with his tools. If your tools aren't that good, then you need to go and buy new ones eventually to replace the old ones to get a better job done. Then that's what happens. And he's working. He's working with tools, to be honest, some of them. Know what I mean? That's exactly what he's working with. Excuse the French, but, you know, that's how bad it's getting, you know. And a lot of people have a go at him. But you can maybe question one or two things, like maybe a sub here or a player there. But on the whole, we've got the strongest defence probably you can pick because of the injury situation. Maybe Aaron's out for Magoma, but that Irons is playing out of position. So technically, I never try and judge a player all the time because he is playing out of position. But he's been picked to play, and he should be able to kick the ball with his left foot and all, which he seems to struggle with in that left back position. In the midfield is the issue. Rothwell's injured. Diamandi's no cutting it. Raskin's no cutting it, and Conor Barron's just come back in, and he's probably showed up out the three of them as in midfield, but he's limited to what he can do. And the other two aren't going deep, aren't running by players, aren't getting themselves in the box, aren't busting a gut. Now, is that because they can't do that? They're no good at it. Are they good at winning the ball back? Raskin and Diamondi ferrying, catching the ball when they're playing, but they're no creative players. You know, Asgard, I think, is meant to be a creative player. Bezrami's meant to be a creative player. And the other one, we've got Lyle Cameron, who gets himself forward, was scoring at Dundee before he came here, at Rangers, and he's not really been gave a chance. And we've got two wingers that blow hot and cold, and we've got strikers that are powder puff up front. And to be honest, are they really getting chances created? Like you said, we turn around saying, oh, he missed that, he's missed that chance. Or the goalie saving this and that. No, because we're not making a goalie hardly make a save in a game. So, all that into the mix, it's mostly down to the players. Some of them are getting forward and you can see they're going so far, and then it's like they get a nosebleed and they need to stop and turn back. And that's what they're doing. It can be slow. It can be, when even the build up on Sunday, it was slow, the passing was slow. You know, and that's down to the players. That's not down to the manager. You see Danny Rowe sometimes out in the touchline screaming at them, pointing to get them up the park. But the players have got to do it. Players have got to want to do it. They're playing at Glasgow Rangers here. You know, us as a board turn up every week. Everybody turned up on Sunday. It was maybe 10, 15,000 short or whatever capacity. Because some people were fed up with it. Some people probably are fed up with it. You know, why should I turn up if the team aren't turning up to put on a performance? But it's just not good enough. But these players have got to take responsibility, first and foremost. And it's really down to them, Ox.
Aye. Listen, I've got a bit of sympathy with Danny Rowe. Only time will tell, mate. Now, obviously, I've not agreed with everything. You can't agree with everything that people done. I mean, you know, I could understand some of his substitutions yesterday, but I just... The players are frustrating us now. There's no... You can't... we brought them in. This is their second manager, some of them in their Rangers career, mate, and all the new players collectively. What was that, 13, 14 in the summer? You know, none of them at the moment in time with their whole period have been a success. Gasman had a successful period at the start of his career. It's Peter down now, mate. The whole bit have been poor, mate. Poor collectively, 13 players, mate. And it's left us in such a mess.
Yeah,
Talking
sorry,
about messes. I think we've been joined by old Davy. Evening, Davy.
Hey, that didn't sound nice, Bridge.
It was all right.
Evening, boys. Evening, Ox. Evening, Bridgeman. Evening, old Suicider. Just sort of come on, give you a wee bit of support.
Yeah.
I said earlier in the chat there, I said, look, guys, I'm not expecting me to phone in because I'm lost for words. And it's getting to the hurting time. But that's where we are, guys. We just need to keep taking the painkillers till something changes. But it's so tedious and repetitious, and it hurts. And I think that's the biggest thing. If you ask all the troops, yourselves and them, it's hurting to see the way we are heading, which is not a good place. We're not heading to a good place, but hopefully, as ever, you keep believing, and hopefully we'll turn it around about. And the only thing I'm going to say about Danny Rowe, I've mentioned it before. The worrying thing I have with him, even although they're all still Martin's mob, I'm worried about the two. I was going to say something that's going to KNOBS that gave them the job. That worries me because they put him where he is. So to me, that doesn't say much volumes for the boy. But hopefully, if he gets a free go at it and gets the changes that's needed, we just need to keep taking the painkillers till something happens.
Aye, but it's going to take a while to put this right, Davey, because of the incompetence during the summer, mate, at all levels, mate, the whole club. You know, and obviously the butt will eventually stop with the owners. If people will question them, they've got a lot right in how quickly they reacted and changed things, and they've took it on head on but they've got a lot wrong as well, mate. And that's meant that they've had to come in.
You're right.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're definitely. I'm watching some of the things coming up, the chats and all that. There's somebody say painkillers when they sort that. We need to get Valium. But it will turn round, guys. It will turn round. At the moment, it's just there's no light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I think everybody's concerned about. And as Suicide says, you're looking for something to happen every time they come out. And it's one step forward and 5 steps back. That's the worrying bit for me. And another thing about Danny Rowe is, even although they're Martin's players and a lot of them he's not brought in, I just feel at times he could try and change the system a wee bit. But somebody says, I don't think their players can change the system. So he's just got to play with the cards he gets dealt with.
Whatever you done couldn't be any worse. You know,
Yeah.
whatever you done, you know, because you're rearranging the decks, you might end up with a win screen if you rearrange them better, mate. But it's just awful. Anyway, we'll be joined by our Billy. Evening, Billy.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Billy.
How's it going? I'm listening with great interest regarding the problem solving, shall we say, to put it politely, at Rangers.
We've got that for, mate. We've just got to the problems at the moment.
Aye, well, that's true, mate. But this is just the way I see it, right? I want to ask you a wee question, right? Now, you'll probably answer it the way I would imagine you'll answer it, right? But this is the question, right? Look at all the other teams we play, right? Especially the so-called lesser teams, right? Look what they've got, then look at us and tell me the difference.
Well, I just mentioned, I don't know if you heard the start of the show, Billy. I don't know if you were listening. I was talking about Aaron's. I talked about the Giga. And I talked about Aaron, man. I talked to others, but I didn't think any of the three players would get in the Falkirk team. There you go.
You wouldn't be full rank, to be honest with you, Ox. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm
not
not.
disrespectful to the Falkirk team, mate.
Aye, I'm not. Listen, and I'm not trying to belittle the panel or anything like that and make you out to be idiots, because you're certainly far from idiots. You know, I'll tell you the answer to my question, and maybe you can agree with me or see what you think. See these so-called lesser teams like your Falkirks and Livingstons and your Dundees and Motherwells and all that. Do you know what the laddies have all got that the Rangers players have not got? Guts, attitude, hunger, desire, heart, guts, a will to win. They've got it in abundance. An abundance. Our
And
attitude
some of them
and
with their skill, mate. Some of them with their skill.
Aye, well, you could argue that case. I know you could say, oh well, how's XYZ at Rangers with all the ability he's got, and he's not got the main ingredient socks. Ability only takes you so far, mate, as far as I'm concerned. And see if you've not got the main ingredients in football, right? What I just said there, and especially more so at Rangers, mate, right? You shouldn't be anywhere near Rangers. It's as simple as that. You should not be anywhere near Rangers. And there's two ways you can look at it as well. They either have just no got it, right? Or they're freeloaders. It's black or white, troops, as far as I'm concerned. You know, they're playing with one of the best clubs in history, football-wise, European, the prestige of Glasgow Rangers.
They're definitely
You know,
making history, some of these players, Billy.
Aye, I know that, mate. But you know that you would think they'd be banging the manager's door down, saying, "How am I not getting a game? How's he not getting played in front? How's he getting a game in front of me? He's not turning it on. He's not doing this. He's not doing that." You know, you would think there'd be a queue outside the Ibrox man to go and play for Glasgow Rangers. You know, that's what it means to us, because we understand the club and what it means to don that blue jersey. These players they don't get it, or they're just freeloaders. It's simple as that. And they've got
a combination of both, Billy.
But even more so, Ox, even more so. I wouldn't I wouldn't rule that out either, mate. But you know, when I thought to myself, we get dragged down to their level. You know, maybe that's the issue here. Maybe that's the root cause of the problem. Then I went like, no, it can't be that. And then I spoke about the other week here, players turning up when they think they want to turn up. You know, you can't do that at Rangers. That's all right. You know, and in fact, it's not all right at all. You're a professional footballer. You should be going out every week to be the best you can be on the park. I always remember Stephen Gerrard saying it when he was talking about he was getting interviewed. He wanted to be the best in training. These players should be the exact same. I mean, they've got a career in the palm of their hands that only people can dream of, and they're throwing it down the toilet.
And the
It's
back to your
incredible,
point,
mate.
do they care if you're getting £1 million a year, mate, and you've got a 4-year contract, £4 million? Do they care? Does it affect them? Do they bother them? Do they debate it? Do they talk about it? Do they live it? Do they breathe it? Because they can't sleep because they're so angry? Do they phone up their mates? God knows. Do they phone up radio shows Southside and then make points because they don't get it?
No, Billy's got 100% get points here, but we've talked about it, like application and ability. Billy, you know, you play in Europe, you play in prestige games, you're playing games every 3-4 days, you play high games, it's at a club that's supposed to be that you're meant to win every single week, or the ambition is to win every single week when you pull on the jersey. You look at the size of the club, the history of the club, the support that's there in home games, the support that follows you away from home, week in, week out, in Europe and everything. And they'll use just Asgard just because he's coming into my head at the moment. But when you're playing at Wigan and Luton and I can't think of our club he was at, right? He's not getting that. He's not got that anywhere he's been, and yet he's landed at Glasgow Rangers. We paid a transfer fee for him, and he's getting that chance to go and showcase. He has got ability, but he's not showcasing it, and he doesn't have that heart in him at the moment. But it looks like he hasn't got the desire in him at the moment, as it looks like, Billy, as you talk about. And he's not the only one, right? But I was just thinking of him there with somebody I think has got ability. Can take the ball in tight situations, has got nice wee flicks and touches, has showed you what he's capable against Dundee United, but miles off it week in, week out now, and he's not using that to his maximum, to think that be looking at him thinking, by the way, we've got a good player here, go and show yourself, son, go and make yourself a better player, show us what you've got, and you're lucky you're at this club. And he's one that could end up getting tossed away, and he'll end up back down the Championship, but he might end up in League One again. If he's, that's where he'll go, and he'll not be playing in Europe very often. He might still have an international career, but he'll not be playing with the intensity and in the games that he should be, but he plays up here. And with a club that demands the support, and the club demand that you try and win every week, and you get that pressure put on you. So there's a lot in that squad, and it's hard to believe that you're looking at, there's a shell of a team. And it's no Danny Rowell's fault, and there'll be a lot of people questioning him. But I would question all the players, and until we start to strip this back again, we had a rebuild. Thelwell hasn't made a good job of it, and we're going to have to get rid of some of the cliques in there and all. And if you look right through the team, Giga, no good enough. Fernandez, we brought in, still got to give him a chance long term. The young boy at left back probably shouldn't be playing week in, week out. With a boy there that was older, had been at the club a lot longer, and we get rid of him, and it was just down to whether he was any better. I think Robbie Fraser would have gave you more heart and desire than everything you're talking about, Billy, than what he would, and then Magoma, but I don't think he's the worst. Shooter's been rotten. Cornelius is alright to a point. I'd like to have seen Merriam. Butland, he's had his moments, and then you look through the midfield, and the whole midfield, most of them are all stinking. I get rid of Diamond Raskin. Miowski's no cutting it, and we've got two wingers, and wingers built mostly blow hot and cold. And the squad's just not good enough, and it needs to be overhauled again. But we need to get rid of a few of them right out that squad. Probably take a bit of the cliquiness out it, because I still think there's cliques in there.
Said that all along, Southside, mate. I've said that all along.
Aye, and I think Diamond Raskin, and dare I say, our captain, he's been there long enough, and I think it's time. I know folks will be screaming, but listen, he's done, right? He's done. And you know he's done. And we can't have, our manager should be stronger to say, listen, you're not taking every throw in. You're not taking every free kick here. No, we've watched this movie time and time again. Aye, sometimes he puts in a good delivery and all that, but do we really need to have to be on every single free kick into the box? Corner, and as Oxide hitting an out-swinging corner when he can't even beat the first man? You know, it's no good enough. And it's time things started to change, and maybe later on it might change. Monroe, maybe if we can add some players in January, But the man needs backed, and we need to get rid of some of these freeloaders, as you call them, Billy.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what I looked at as well? Sorry, Ox. Do you know, seeing you watch, you subscribe to the Rangers hang me on YouTube and that, right? You watch them training, they're all walking out and they're just sauntering out and they're laughing and they're joking, and it's, you know, it's all a game, it's all funny, and they're having a carry on with one another, etc., etc. Then you're saying, well, how is the camaraderie there during training that when you go onto the park, he's just going to a shell? Or you just turn up when you want? I can't get my head doing it for the life of me, guys. I just can't. You know, I just cannot get my head doing why the guys why they're not turning up on match day constantly. It's absolutely bonkers. It's bonkers. You know, and Mucker, I'm a big Raskin fan, as you know, but I'll tell you, he's been rank rotten for ages now, rank rotten. And this brings me to my next question, Ox. Here one for these, right? I'll put you right in the spot, devil's advocate and all that. If there were two players could go to the door in January, Raskin or Diamondi, what one would you keep and what one would you sell?
I would sell Raskin because you'll get more money if I had the choice. They'll be different only because that will help you with the rest of your rebuild, mate. Economics. Bridgman.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that, Ox, yeah?
That's all right. Davey, in you come, mate.
Aye, yeah. You're spot on what you said. It is financially. I know what Billy's talking about. If you're talking about who's the player that you would keep,
Aye, he's
in the
based on
forum
ability.
sense.
Aye,
Abilities. There's no difference, but if you're looking at it to get some cash, you got to go for Raskin. But as far as I'm concerned at this moment in time, I wouldn't miss any of them.
No. As that answers your question, Billy, just do the economics. If you're based on form,
Aye.
the two of them have been appalling.
I bet, you know, aye.
I check the chat, Ox. Well, I think we spoke about this the other day, Billy. Most people on the feeds and that on YouTube are saying both of them. I think because of money sense, probably Raskin to try and generate more money. And then I would just probably drop Diamante onto the bench for as long as I could, because he doesn't deserve a start, Billy, to be honest. His attitude and everything's been terrible.
What about you buy one, you get one free, so
free? Well, there's a good chance he might. I don't know, going to look and see if that's so, and see if he's going to this tournament in January, then we'll get a break for Diamante anyway. We might have to bring somebody in, you know what I mean? But
aye. We'll be joined by Kyle. Evening, Kyle.
Evening, guys. How you doing?
Okay.
That's a good question, mate. But how are you, mate? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm good. That on Sunday was just diabolical. Absolutely embarrassing. I just couldn't believe how bad we were. Honestly, I still can't believe it. It's just bloody awful. And it's actually come to a point that I don't trust most of these players at all. To be honest, it's just awful. I honestly believe we need at least 2-3 transfer windows to sort it out, because it's just a mess from top to bottom. It's the worst Rangers team I've seen. One of the worst Rangers teams I've seen in my lifetime. I mean, I'll put up there with the Warburton, Pedro Caixinha era. It's just bad, really, really bad. And there's not.
Somebody said to me the day, Kel, before you carry on.
Yeah,
that
sure.
The team that beat Celtic in 2016, I think it was, in the semi-final, Warburton's team in the championship would beat that team this now. And it's
I agree with that. Oh yeah, I don't disagree with that, because there were some players that actually had some fight in that team at that game. I remember watching that game live at home, and the thing is, when I look at that team now, it's just there's no fight and pride, or nobody just fighting for the badge anymore. It's just awful. It's a lack of leadership as well, and you know what I mean. And even when you look back at I remember 19 years ago in the disastrous Paul Gwen era. I mean, even though that team was awful, but there were some players that actually tried. This team, I don't see any of that. there's nothing. There's none of these players are even trying. You know, and I feel sorry for the manager. I really do, and I think he needs to be given 2-3 years to sort this mess because it's just bad. And
that's
I
another
just
question.
yeah.
I think we everybody's agreeing. I'll take you Bridgman, mate. I think we're actually all singing for the same hymn sheet, which is remarkable. Bridgman.
Yeah.
Southside.
Aye, I don't disagree with you, Kel. Obviously, you had Lee Wallace and Kenny Miller would have led. We've not got leaders. There's no leaders in the team. Tav's your captain, right? Right? But
yeah,
he's not leading. And you look through the rest of the team, and players like Diamonde and Raskin. Well, no, Diamonde didn't start, but Raskin should be a leader out there. You know, and I've watched him a couple of times. When we lost the goal against Livingston the week before, I looked at the players and a lot of them had their heads down. And in fairness, Raskin and Tav were sort of trying to speak to players, but the rest of them were just, you know, and that's the one thing. We've not got any players, mate. Aye, we've not got any characters out there. They should be pinning each other up in that dressing room.
Exactly. If you and also,
do us a favour, let Southside speak. We'll bring you in, mate. Does it work?
Sorry, mate. Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah. Carry on, Southside, and we'll bring
it's just the lack of leaders and calling players out. Everybody just seems happy to just think me. The body language is all wrong when you lose goals. The squad's poor mentality-wise. And I feel sorry for Danny Rowe, as we spoke about. It will take him. I said, somebody asked earlier how long will it take, and I said 3 transfer windows probably, you know. I'll ask you a quick question, Kyle. See, going forward when he starts, if we start, what do you think we should go? Do you think we should just go for the experience? Forget this sort of why we need to buy these players at 21, 22 and make them into better players. Do we just go and get experienced players in your opinion? Do you think we just go and get people that are experienced, maybe 3 that can drag a team up and make sure we've got the right experience in there? Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think you do need experienced players in this team, 100%, and that's another problem as well. There's too many young players who are just not cutting the mustard. So yeah, I don't disagree. I totally agree with that 100%. Because all the winning teams that I grew up, I don't rate him at all. I think he's terrible.
Sorry,
honestly, he runs out of gas every time he plays.
Yeah,
which is a shame because he was a good player at Leeds. But for us, he just looks like he just gets blown up every time he plays, and it's ridiculous. But yeah, like I was going to say, like I remember all the teams that we won titles with. We always had leaders and characters and players, experienced players mixed in with young players. This squad just doesn't have any of that at all. I mean, if you look at when Gerrard came in, he brought in experienced players and mixed them up with young players. And it worked, you know what I mean? Even though it took him a while to win something, but it worked in the end. I just think Danny Rule needs to try and do the same now, and it's going to take him a while because this team is just no fight and no guts in that team at all. And even Raskin, I rate Raskin highly, but at the moment he has just been awful. He looks like he doesn't want to be there. And I'll cash him in January, to be honest with you. I hate saying that because I like the guy, but he doesn't want to be there. He wants to go. I think it's pretty obvious, you know. So I think we need to cash in on him and just use that money to get. I would love us to bring in 5 players in, but that's a big ask, especially in January. So it's really difficult.
I think we don't. That's not a word we hear often on this show. Cash out. But Billy Abbott cash out and Raskin.
It's maybe came to that time. You know, I think he's got a year and a half left his contract or something like that. I don't know. I'd run about that, you know. But it's either it's stick or twist time with Raskin as far as I'm concerned. And as I said, I like me Raskin, you know, but he's no. He's no unworthy any constructive criticism when he's no doing it, you know. But I'll tell you, just to touch on Southside and Kel's comments here, we're talking about 3 transfer windows. Well, listen, I didn't mean to be the caller of doom and gloom, but notoriously the January window is always hard. So if we're including this one, then we've got the World Cup in the summer. All the top players will be at the World Cup. You know it's going to be hard to move players and shift players about when all the top players are on the World Cup. Then we've got January coming again. So listen, it maybe take more than 3 transfer windows. And Southside, you said what, 3, I think, Mucker. I'd be looking for 5 experienced players, mate. I would. I really would. 2 centre-halves, 2 centre midfielders, and a striker. That's what I'd be looking for. That's what I'd be looking for, mate, just to try and do some here, because we can't keep looking for the jackpot signings all the time, Mucker. You know, buying a 22-year-old laddie with potential, we'll do this and we'll do that, and putting all eggs in one basket. You know, it's definitely not working. No chance.
Yeah, we need a spine in the team. That's another thing as well. There's no spine at all in midfield and defence. It's just awful, you know. Lack of characters, lack of leadership. It's just criminal.
That's how I said.
I thought, Billy, if we'd have got two players in, maybe if Raskin went 3 players in who are first teamers, mate, no projects, who come right into your team.
Yep.
That would be a hard ask in January. I honestly think we need more now, and getting them ain't going to be that easy, because the trouble is you could end up with, you could bring in 5 or 6 and 3 of them end up as much as what you've got, mate, and you'll hardly move an inch forward. Really, what's happened in that summer has put us back. I think 3 transfer windows you've been to try and fix it, mate, because you're going to try and have to move people on. You're going to have to get rid of people who don't want to be there, who are willing to sit and take the money. It's with them. We've got ourselves in a bigger mess than any thought possible in a few weeks in the summer, Southside.
Well, you maybe try and get maybe somebody on a pre-contract that you'll keep long term in January. It might be lucky that way. I'm not so keen in doing the loan signings in January, to be perfectly honest. We might have to get in that road.
Any work this year? Any loans work this year?
No, they've not been showing up. No, they've not been turning up for their work, have they, really? Performing. They've been turning up, but they've been doing very little. Mikey Moore had just started to find a wee bit of form, let's be honest, but it was, I mean, a lot of people were slaughtering him. Listen, he's a young boy and a young player. He shouldn't be getting that amount of hype put on him. You might be bringing these young boys in like Finlay Curtis, bring them in when the team's actually playing well, and then they can come in and learn their trade and try and contribute. Before Mikey Moore in at the deep end, and listen, I told you before, I've been at every game. They've booed the team from start to finish this season for all these players. So a lot of the confidence had went to a lot of these players home and away. They've been booed on, they've been booed at half time at Ibrox, they've been booed after, they've been jeered off. And some of them, for that type of experience, and them coming up, probably thought, well, what's going on here? No, I don't get that down in England when I'm playing down there. Do you think many Bournemouth booed many of their team when the Max Sarns was playing at right back? Because let's be honest, he played an attacking full-back and goal at Bournemouth when he was there. You know? So I think we need to, as long as he's no showed up, I still think sticking him on the left, he's always going to be harshly judged, and he's not really good at a left back anyway, I don't think, although he's been used there. But I think that's maybe so we don't burn out Magoma, because he's the only left back we've got. So I think that's why Arns has been coming in there, probably in the last wee while. Maybe he's carrying an injury or a wee slight knock and all, but it might just be he doesn't want to burn them out. He can't keep playing week in, week out at left back due to sports science nowadays, and the games are coming thick and fast. So that might be a reason why Arns has been in there. But if he was getting in the team, I would rather see him play in the right hand side of defence and judge him then. But I always think it's a wee bit harder to judge players when they're playing out of position. But he's certainly not cutting it. And then Giga looks a bomb scare. He looks really nervous and he doesn't look comfortable. Fernandez, I think, has been all right since he's came in. I think he's been all right. But I think it would have helped if we had an experienced player beside him to help guide him through the games. And we are where we are at the moment. And it's pretty damning that the 3 that I thought would really kick on in time would be Ant-Man, Gasman and Asgard. I thought the A3 would have probably in time showed up for what, but we're 5 months down the road now, and we're still looking for him to be consistent on a weekly basis and hit a batter for him. And they're 3 players that we signed, and they're not cutting the mustard. Majovski's miles off it. He makes some good runs sometimes, but we're not hitting that early ball. And Rothwell, we brought him in probably for the experience Hawks, and he's no fit now, and he's been miles off it since he came into the team and all. So it's a sad indictment, but we'll have to get a clear out between now and the summer. And like you say, Billy, you mentioned the World Cup. Well, some of these players might be no want to go into a tackle later on in the season because they're thinking about a World Cup.
Yep.
You know,
Why
so
wouldn't it?
that might be another thing. That might be another thing, you know what I mean?
It's hard to imagine that anybody we watched yesterday's playing in a World Cup in it.
Do you know what I
With the
picked
greatest
up on?
respect.
Do you know what I picked up on as well, Ox? I listened to Danny Rolls' interview the other day after the game and that, and he spoke about Rangers players going forward with the ball and then picking the wrong option. They always want to go back away and stop and start again and let other teams get ready. How often have we seen that over the last 4 years? You know, how many times did Big Borna bomb upside that, bomb down that left-hand side, and then do that wee Cruyff turn to check to come inside, never no broke down? How many times did Jeffy bomb up and down that thing and do the exact same thing? You know, so there's something seriously lacking there for the players to constantly do that. You know, they're getting halfway up the park, they're getting into good positions, and then it all breaks down. You know, and when you look at the likes of Majovski, you know, I spoke to Southside about Cherny last year, about how Cherny used to ghost in off defenders, not because I used to watch him off the ball, Cherny, and he was brilliant at it. And you used to see him shaking his head all the time because he was getting himself into brilliant positions and he wasn't getting the ball. And that's all down to the players. So at least Danny Rolls highlighted that, because that's been there for years, for the last few years anyway. Players coming want to check back, you know, and all it does there when the players, when you're going forward, you maybe start breaking the lines and all that, and then when you do break the lines, if you stop and take the momentum out it, you're getting back the way, and then the teams just get set up to stop you, and then you've got to go back and do it all again when you've already done it. It makes no sense. It's absolutely bonkers.
The classic, the guy who's happening a lot with this news, Max Sarad. You know, because obviously you've got a sympathy, he's playing the right side, but he goes forward, then he has to bring it back, cuts back. And by the way, at first we thought it was because he was playing on the left, and we've watched him on the right, and he's just the same. Anyway, old Davy boy, we've reached that time of the evening, mate. I know that's another day, and it's getting close to a month to your birthday, mate. I've not bought your present yet because I don't like to buy it too early.
Now you're cooking.
You know, I don't like to buy your present too early in case I don't have to bother.
Aye, remember, lads, no more Maltesers. I'm into the celebration. That's the ones I want. And that's what Rangers to win every game. Celebration time. Come on. Anyway, thanks for taking my call, guys. Always looking the bright side. Things will get better. It's not happening at the moment. No, don't come after you. And things will improve, but we've just got to buckle down. It's not going to happen right away. So we've just got to take it as it comes. So God bless you, Gels. Thanks for listening to me. And stay safe, everybody.
I'm glad that operation worked. I'll go to one of my heroes, Billy. See what I've done there.
Hi. No, no bother, mate. Cheers for taking my call. My only message to the Rangers players, if they're listening, if they do care, which I don't think they will, listen, instead of getting into yourselves, guys, just embrace what you're doing. Embrace it. Love it. That's what you're there to do.
And it'll be roses for Kyle for this good call. Kyle, last one, mate.
That's all good, mate. Great to chat to you guys again, and hopefully we'll see some good players come in January. I know it's going to be difficult, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'll be honest with you, I'm quite nervous about the game against Dundee United. I think it's going to be a tough night.
That's where we are, mate, unfortunately.
Yeah,
you're being honest.
Yeah, it's a tough journey at the moment. Unfortunately, I think this season's a write-off. If I'm being honest, it's just a mess from top to bottom.
Well, it looks that way, mate. You can't say what you know what your eyes are seeing, mate. You can't tell
Oh,
yourself
absolutely.
different.
Yeah, that's what both Stevie from Four Lads of the Dream and David from Hutton Handball said, and I totally agree with the both of them. They're spot on. It can't be argued, It's right there in front of us.
No. Usually you can put up a defence or you can put a spin on it or you can try to put up an argument. He's playing well in a bad team, but you can't put up an argument for anybody.
No, definitely not. No, it's not acceptable for our football club. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're supposed to be a lot better than this, and we're not. And the thing that really hurts is, like, a couple of years ago, we're in Europa League final. And then 4 years later, we're in this goddamn bloody mess. It's just unacceptable, It's just absolutely awful. It just shows you how poorly we've been managed for the last 3-4 years, and it's awful. But at least now we've got a decent manager, and hopefully we'll give him a lot of time than we should, because it's the only way it's going to work. Sometimes you just got to get a decent manager, and we'll make sure you get a decent one in, and then give him time and just go through a bit of pain, and hopefully we'll get some good players in and let them build a team. Because if we keep changing managers every year, we'll just end up with a Beale or Martin, and we'll get nowhere. So we have to be careful.
Cheers, mate. Good
Cheers, mate. Thanks for coming. I'll speak to you guys. Good to speak to you guys again. Cool. Good night.
We'll go to the Quality Street, South Side.
We'll need to go on the old bevy on Wednesday night to go and watch us, I think. And then Saturday for an 8 o'clock kick-off. That looks like the way forward, the new ops. Listen, it's one of the nights. We can't dress it up.
8 o'clock kick-off meeting at 12 South Side, so they'll be able to watch it.
Well, that's the plan for most of the troops. They said that with an early Christmas wee swally before the 8 o'clock kick-off at Kilmarnock. So I think that's the way it's going to be the weekend. But Dundee on Wednesday, United can't go them at all. But we need to go up there and get a result. We need to create chances and hopefully nick a goal or two and come back down the road with a win. It's going to be a cold night, and it's one of the nights where a lot of people go and get time after work and all that and leave early and stuff like that to go and follow the Rangers. So hopefully they'll do us proud and get a result, and we can come down the road happy, mate, But it's been good to be on the night with yourself and the legend, the Bridgeman, and also get a few callers on the night. I'm sorry for everybody listening. It's been a wee bit one of the nights, but you can't dress it up. You've got to speak what we see, and what we're seeing in the news not good enough, mate. But hopefully it'll improve. Say thanks to everybody in the YouTube channel that joined in the night. Thanks to them as always, and everybody else that listened out there on Facebook. Thank them and all. So thanks for having us, mate.
Yeah, thanks to Billy, Kyle, Davey, and Gordon, who joined us earlier on the show. Great to hear from them all. Of course, your good self and Bridgeman for doing the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. Thanks for listening. We know it's difficult. We know times are hard. And we'll not get the greatest side we've ever had, but never forget the other people. Take it away, Old School Blue.